welcome back to yet another episode of Clubhouse Talk. As always, I am the host of the show, Sean Ferguson. Thank you guys so much for coming back and watching another video. New content will be dropping every Wednesday and Sunday. And please like and subscribe to these videos, as it'll just help me create more and more content every week for you guys. And there is a lot of content to create right now because there is a lot going on in the sport of baseball. I know I said this in my last video, but the MLB is starting to feel like other sports, like the NFL and the NBA, where they're making the sport feel year-round, not just regular season. And that's what baseball is doing. This offseason has been so much fun, and it's only getting better, as today's video is focusing on some great trades that have taken place and some absolutely massive free agent signings. You all know who I'm talking about. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it. And we are going to start with the New York Yankees. And the New York Yankees, as many know now, went ahead and traded for Juan Soto in a massive deal that sends a lot of prospects to the way of San Diego. And I want to hate this move, but I love it. I love it for the Yankees, and I love it for the Padres, both. It's usually, I don't know, when you send just a superstar like Soto to another team, I kind of feel like that team would be, not getting so much in return. As an Orioles fan, I've seen it happen when we unloaded back in 2018, I believe it was. You saw the likes of Manny Machado and some bigger stars like Machado and Jones and Scope. They went, and I felt like we didn't get a lot in return. There were some few pieces, but I felt like there was a lot more to get out of that. And in my opinion, we didn't. But for this trade, for instance, for Soto's 25 years old. So for the Yankees, I get it. You're one of these teams that you have all of the money in the world. You can do whatever you want with it. You can buy your talent. You don't have to farm raise them like the Orioles and the Rays do. You can go out and buy them. You've seen it with the Giancarlo Stanton experiment, which is not working out right now, but they have the money to do it. Now, it doesn't look great when you spend all this money and it doesn't work out. So they are hopeful that with this trade, they're getting a young gunning 25-year-old Juan Soto in the prime of his career. He had massive success with the Nationals. He had a better year last year with the Padres, as it looked like it started off slow, but he ended well. But he was on a team that was going nowhere with all this massive talent, a huge disappointment of a team. Now, he had a great season to end, so the Yankees pick him up. And it's great for the Yankees because Soto is on contract year, meaning he needs to play out of his mind if he wants to get the kind of money that he wants to get. And most everybody knows what kind of money he wants, and it is up there. And if he's going to a Yankees team who needs pieces, and this is one of them, they need a couple of bats, and getting a Juan Soto bat is huge to help that process of getting back to being one of the top teams in the American League. And I think Soto is going to have a great year. I really do. He has to if he wants to get paid the way that he wants to get paid. He's going to get paid regardless, but if he wants to make the amount of money that he wants, he is going to have to play, kind of out of his mind. And he needs to keep pace with the way that he finished with the Padres last year. Michael King, Johnny Brito, Randy Vasquez, and a couple of prospects go to the way of the Padres for Juan Soto. I don't think this is a bad haul at all for San Diego, for a team that could use some young prospects. They went the way of kind of what the Yankees are doing now. They're a team that could spend all of this money, which they did, but it didn't work out. The pieces that they put in place there did not work out. They could use a little rebuild of some younger talent, and this is the way to do it. You got some younger pieces there after offloading a couple guys. The main one, of course, being Juan Soto in this trade. So I don't think it's bad for either team. Like I said, Juan Soto's 25 years old. He's in a contract year, so we'll see how this plays out for both teams. The Yankees need a bounce-back year, and the way they do that is they get Juan Soto. He should help. The other bat you're looking for, they get Alex Verdugo. They get another trade with an unlikely trade partner here, as Boston and New York do a deal, which they don't really do it all. Very very rare deal between the two teams, but Verdugo heads to the Yankees. He joins up with the bat of Juan Soto. So as we just said, they needed two bats. The Yankees, they needed two bats to kind of pick up for a team that was really slumping last year in that category. You had injuries and just not so great play. Now you get a Verdugo and you get a Juan Soto, and those are just two big pieces. Of course, Juan Soto being the biggest of the two. And now, this can't be it for the Yankees. This can't be it. You get Verdugo going to the Yankees, you get Soto going to the Yankees, and their potential lineup looks really scary as we look at that real fast. Potential lineup for the Yankees now, granted, they have to be healthy, which is a big thing that the Yankees struggled with last year. But you have Verdugo in left, you have Judge in center, Soto playing right, Gleyber Torres at second, Rizzo at first. You'd have Giancarlo Stanton. We'll see what happens with him. He'd be your DH. LeMahieu at third, Austin Wells catching, and Anthony Volpe at shortstop. That's a scary lineup. And this also adds more depth to the Yankees. Now, they need to add more starting pitching and bullpen help there. But, wow, you talk about 9 bats. Those are 9 scary bats. And I saw a meme that made me laugh. It was the Yankees at Soto, and they're still predicted to finish behind the Orioles in the East. Now, that made me feel great as an O's fan, but now you look at this lineup, and this theoretically these 9 bats should be able to compete with any team in the league. That's a scary lineup, and we'll see. We'll see who else the Yankees add. Like I said, they need bullpen and starting pitching help, so we'll see where they go there. But wow, that is as an O's fan, a team that's in the East. That definitely scares me a little bit more. Definitely more than it did last year. So, good for the Yankees. You can't be mad at it. I wish my team has a extremely low budget. If we had the budget, I wouldn't be mad at all at trading for Soto and Verdugo. So, good for them. And speaking of my team, the Baltimore Orioles, we made a trade, or didn't make a trade, sorry. We made a free agent signing, which we need to keep that going. We need to make more. We needed starting pitching help and a little bullpen help. The bullpen help comes from Felix Bautista. He's going to be out for the entire season next year after having Tommy John surgery. So they need a new closing pitcher because you just can't have Yunier Cano as your closer. He needs to be your setup guy. And they add the veteran Craig Kimbrell. I know many people out there, fans-wise too, are not extremely happy with Kimbrell, but I like this signing because Kimbrell is a guy who I believe he's a 9-time All-Star. He's been around the block. He just came from the Philadelphia Phillies, who were a postseason team as well, just like we were last year. But he knows what we need from him. And we know what we need from him. We need 1 year. What you got? He got a 1-year deal. $13 million was that deal for Kimbrell. And he is coming into an established team who has all of this potential, all of this young talent with it. And we need a few veteran pieces to help fill out, the rest of this puzzle. And one of those right now, again, we need to get a starting pitcher without a doubt. They got to do whatever they can to get Cease. Anywho, talking about Kimbrell right now, we need a new closing pitcher. This guy has an absolutely ridiculous resume. Why wouldn't you want to bring him onto your team? And it's a 1-year deal, $13 million. There is a club option for 2025, but we're just looking at 2024 right now. I think it makes a lot of sense. He knows what we are expecting out of him, and I think it's a great fit. I think he's going to deliver. I really do. And again, I don't like Yunier Cano as your closing pitcher, so moving him back to the setup guy, moving Kimbrell to your closing pitcher, I'm really excited for it. I think it's going to be great for, all teams involved, to be honest with you. So, again, Craig Kimbrell going to the Orioles, 1 year, $13 million. We'll keep an eye open to see what other deals are being made. I really hope this isn't it. I know I was one of the many Orioles fans who were very disappointed at the trade deadline this year. The Jack Flaherty deal just felt like something that the Orioles made because they knew the fan base was pretty much demanding, you need to sign somebody. And they struck out on everybody that they were trying to get, like a Cease, like a Montgomery. So they had to get somebody. So they just pulled the trigger on Flaherty, and he was abysmal. And I don't want them to do that this offseason. I don't want them signing players just say, hey, look, we signed somebody. And I don't think Kimbrel's that guy. They had a specific area that they needed to be addressed, and they addressed it. So in a sense, it's kind of like the Flaherty trade, but I feel like they did more homework, and they got a guy that fits in with our system. And Flaherty just felt lost from the get-go. So I'm excited for Kimbrel coming to town. I really am. And I think again, he knows the assignment, and I think he's going to do great. He's that veteran piece that the O's need and the backside of that bullpen, and I'm excited for it. I really am. So let's see here, guys. We're going to move on now to the biggest news of the week. You all know it. It's Shohei Ohtani finally picked a team. He's staying in the good old state of California, but he is going from the Angels to the Dodgers. And wow, you talk about a contract. The largest contract in North American team sports history. 10 years, $700 million, $70 million a year. Now, this contract, we'll see over the next maybe couple of days, couple of weeks, of how exactly that money is going to be assigned each year for him. There's a lot of reports coming out right now that Ohtani is, in a way, structuring it so the team can still sign other players. It's not a front-loaded contract. It's more of a back-loaded contract, which I get it, but it would scare me as, one of the guys managing the money in LA, just because once you get into years 8, 9, 10, you gotta, that's a lot. But Ohtani signs, it's 10 years, $700 million. Theoretically, that'd be $70 million a year. And there were some crazy stats coming out. It's like $2.20 a second. It's absurd how much money this guy's getting. But I get it. The day and age where we are now with contracts getting bigger, and he looks to be one of the best players. Up there is one of the best players ever in baseball history. Just the way he can hit, pitch, he can do it all. And now, as we looked at the Yankees' potential starting nine, this is the Dodgers' potential starting nine. You got Mookie Betts at second, Freddie Freeman at first, Will Smith catching. You can put Shohei as your DH. And then you got Max Muncy at third, Jason Hayward right, Kike Hernandez in center, David Peralta to left, and Miggy Rojas at shortstop. And that, we'll get to the lineup in a second. There is another thing you got to think about. Shohei isn't the only massive contract on this team. If you add Shohei and Mookie's contracts, that's now over $1 billion in contracts for two players. Two. Mookie and Shohei's contracts combined are over $1 billion. I want to say Mookie's was for 12 years, $365, I believe. And then you got 10 years for $700 for Shohei. So good for the Dodgers having that kind of money. Wow. When I saw that news break, I saw yesterday and as I was getting the rest of the content together for this video, of course, the Shohei news breaks, and I'm looking at it, and I my jaw dropped. I should have expected it, but wow, that contract absolutely blew my mind. Not surprised he went to the Dodgers. You knew it was going to be someone like that, like the Yankees or the Dodgers. But after the Soto trade happened, you knew, okay, it's probably going to stay on the West Coast, and it sure did. Shohei is now part of a lineup that, I mean, it's going to get. The Dodgers are already a great team. They're not like the Yankees. The Dodgers are, played decent last year, and now they just add this guy who, if he can stay healthy, I know he dealt with a lot of injuries last year. If he can stay healthy, I mean, wow, just unreal what, these teams that we're used to seeing do great things, what they're doing now. They can afford. I don't know how the Dodgers can afford this, but they can afford to go out and buy this talent, which, yeah, absolutely, as an Orioles fan, as a small market team fan, it's frustrating because, it's hard not to be, jealous at the same time, because these guys can just go out and buy this talent, but we have to, claw and scratch to build this talent. And like a Craig Kimbrell, yeah, it's a year of $13 million, but that's pretty much at our max for what we're able to do when it comes financially to buy this talent. We're able to go out and buy a veteran, between the $10 to $15 million range. A few of them, like we did last year with Kyle Gibson and Adam Frazier. Expect that. You already got Kimbrell in the back pocket. Who else are they going to do those couple of contracts for? But yeah, it'd be nice to throw $700 million at a player who's, perhaps the best baseball player to ever put on a pair of cleats, of course. And so, yeah, it's hard not to be frustrated or jealous about that fact, because, of course, I love an Ohtani on my team, but we have to do it the old-fashioned way and build from the ground up. But those are your big news, guys. The biggest news of the week. You have Juan Soto and Verdugo getting traded, both going to the Yankees. It's going to be exciting to see what the Yankees do with their starting nine, what other deals or free agency signings that they decide to make. And then the Orioles, at a much-needed piece, getting Craig Kimbrell to the backside of that bullpen, and Shohei Ohtani finally making a decision. He goes to the Dodgers. That is by far Ohtani going. That's the biggest news of the offseason, of where was Ohtani going to go and how much money was he going to get. He goes to the Dodgers for 10 years, $700 million, and joins that absolutely loaded team that has already Boots and Freeman on it. Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman on it. And now you add Ohtani. So we still have a lot of the offseason to go. I'm so looking forward to spring ball now. This is just getting so exciting, guys. I look forward to making more content for you. Like I said, every Wednesday, every Sunday, new content is going to drop for you guys. Please like these videos. Please subscribe to the channel. I know it's a new channel, and there's going to be hiccups. There's going to be things that I do wrong, that I mess up. Please bear with me. I'm only going to get better with these videos, with the content that I create. And yeah, it's probably terrible right now, but like I said, just bear with me. It's only going to get better, and I look forward to making more of these videos of an incredible MLB offseason and soon to be spring training, guys. And once again, I am Sean Ferguson, and thank you so much for watching this video here on Clubhouse Talk.